at the storage unit. Chad, thank you so much. You bought some Budweiser glasses from us. They are heading your way. We do appreciate the sale on those. This guy right here actually sold for 30 bucks. It's a Henry? Is that what it says?
Emily Henry.
It's like a little pottery dish from France. That's pretty good. It's like a little bowl. I remember it took a really long time to sell, probably over a year. So, I mean, probably not the best buy, but it's still sold. This right here we just picked up the other day for $5. It's a speaker thingamajiggy. It's for doing speaker things. Like rebuilding like a subwoofer or something. Does speaker things. So for $19.99. Then parting out the Coleman lanterns, this is the knob to it. This would just be the knob to the Coleman lantern. That sold for $9 plus shipping. The Polo Ralph Lauren extra large red, dark blue, big pony shirt. That's the one with the big logo on it instead of the little logo. They still sell really well for us, especially when it's like block colors. And this one sold for 30 bucks plus shipping. Picked it up at the Goodwill for probably $5. These are some sockets, Craftsman sockets, and it even comes with the actual cool little carrying case, and so they don't fall out. I mean, we have them wrapped also so they won't fall out, but they won't fall out when they're like that. I think this also sold for 30 bucks. $20 for the tree topper. So a vintage tree topper was 20 bucks. And then also we sold a vintage Titleist leather. I mean, she's in not so good condition. Still sold for 65 bucks with like $50 in shipping. I would never pick that up nowadays just because they take so long. What was that? Probably 2-3 years we've been holding it in this. And how much, I mean, did you pay rent? Huh? You owe me rent for 2 years. No? He said $65 is enough. So these things just, none of this pays rent, really. I mean, that guy back there, you pay rent? He's been here for 4 years. What do you got to say for yourself? Nothing. Just everything doesn't pay rent in here. So, but I'm very picky when it comes to golf bags. You just saw we sold like a Clemson golf bag for like 175 bucks. Good pickup. Sold within 2 weeks. Made over $100 on it. This one right here, probably bought it for 10 bucks. Waited 2 years to sell, and then it sold for 65. But we have some questions. Our most asked question, you say that this is our most asked question, which is actually kind of funny. Out of all the stuff that we do, this is what people want to know the most. How do we ship a golf club? Now, I have a video about this on the other channel, Beardedthriftmachine. It's obsolete. I still get views on it, and I still have it on there because of that. But it says it's just all wrong information. I should probably delete it. This is the box that we use. It is a 4x4x48 box. It does measure longer than 48 when it's like this. So it is a 4x4x48. That means it's 4 inches by 4 inches by 48 inches. The thing is that Uline kind of lies. You can fight them, not Uline. You can fight the post office and then have them show what you bought because they will overcharge you, like 100% at UPS if you do not cut this box down. And you don't have to cut it down a lot. Like if you have a driver that's 48 inches, just literally what I do is I fold it in and beat the sides of it in around the driver head. 1/10 of an inch over or something. And sometimes you'll be hit on it, other times you won't, but I'm telling you right now, majority of the time they're gonna catch on it. So just, you know, a lot of times we don't sell 48-inch golf clubs. We sell shorter golf clubs. So you would just cut this down, fold it into it.
And how do you cut it?
With a razor blade.
Razor blade?
Yeah. Just zip, 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 zip. Then
you just
cut the flaps on it and then just fold it over. And then I don't like wrap them extensively. Even like an expensive Diablo right there, like this one right here, I'm not wrapping that extensively. I might put a little thing of bubble wrap over it and just slide it in here. There are 2 golf clubs that I know that won't fit here. One is the Nike Square Head. Almost impossible to fit in this thing. You can bulge it out, which is perfectly fine, and just you have to take that measurement. And there's also one other big-headed club, like a brand new TaylorMade I tried to fit in here, would not fit. But majority, 99.9% of golf clubs, I know a lot of people use a 6x6x48, way too big. Just way too big, and it's also more money to use that. The 4x4 boxes will fit all your, basically all your fairway woods, most of your drivers, all of your irons, and then how we do the iron, like an actual set of irons, and it will fit an entire set of 10 irons is just like this. So I wrap them. So these are only a set of 6, but you wrap them like this, and then all you do is just put the handles down there and wrap it the other end, and she will fit in this box, no problemo, with room to spare. Like tons of room to spare. So that's how you do the irons. And then a lot of people are like, you lie, they call me liars, about how much it costs to ship these. If you go to UPS, we ship everything UPS when it comes to this size. USPS
Yes.
is way too expensive. If you go to UPS and you have them do it, it's gonna cost you 25 bucks.
Absolutely.
If you go to Pirate Ship and you type in the measurements and all that stuff, and it should not be over 2 pounds. It's usually 2 pounds, 4x4x36, 4x4x40, 4x4x44, and it can be as low as $6.95 on the East Coast for us because we live on the East Coast, or as high as probably what, like 13 bucks going to California, which still isn't bad because if you go into the UPS store, they will charge you double to 3 times that amount of money. So do it on Pirate Ship, do it on eBay. You should be buying your item, your shipping labels anyway, not at like the place you're shipping it. Like don't like pack some stuff up and go to the post office to buy your stuff. Like your shipping labels, very, very bad. You're just gonna be overcharged. So that's how we do it, and that's our most asked question. This is the box we use. We cut it down to size, and it fits basically a ton of, you know, we have a couple 6x6s that we have. It's a 6x6x48, just in case we find a golf club that doesn't fit in here. Very rare, but we do have a couple of those boxes also. Another question that we get, how do we, when you're watching the Bearded Thrift Machine channel, how do you see your hands on camera? You're like, what's your camera doing? Like, how are you holding it? We do not use, like that camera right there is an actual vlog camera. It's like a camera, and we don't use one of those when we're out and about. We use just GoPros. Now we do buy the latest GoPros every time, and it's not because I think that they're that much better. They get slower. Like our 8 got super slow. It was starting to crash the SD card. It was starting to act a little funny with light. So every time a new one comes out, we buy one. You know, and when it comes to YouTube, you have to take it as a business. Like if you're trying to, you know, make it a business, then you have to, you know, buy the stuff that works. And these GoPros work very, very well. Now, do you need a fancy GoPro? No, you can use a phone. But the GoPros do work very well for us. All we use is clips, the GoPro clip. This is the actual GoPro clip. I know there's other brands out there. We've tried them. None are as heavy duty as this. We've only had one of these break, and we use them almost every day. For the last 3 years, we use this actual clip. It has never broken. And the batteries, the only problems that we have with these GoPros is that the blue top batteries, I don't even think they sell them anymore, bulge out. So this battery probably has about 1 year to 2 years on it, and she's basically toast. Like we're switching over. When you buy your new batteries, go ahead and buy your white top batteries. They do last a little bit longer, and they haven't bulged out, and they're better with heat. So if you live in a hot climate like we do in the summertime, these things are running, and they do get very, very warm. The older ones would crash a lot faster. Our 8 and 9 would crash pretty quick. The 10 is actually holding up. I think the best, the 11 I think actually has more problems than the 10. So.
And do you clip it to your bag? How do you? Yeah,
we clip it to our bag. We both wear bags, and then all we do is clip it like this. That's it.
Yep, and then show your hands.
Show your hands. Hey, look, an angel. How are you doing, Miss Angel? It sold for $20. That's basically how we film videos. So I had a lot of questions about that. And I think that is, yeah, another thing is make sure your lens is always clean. If it's humid, you live in a humid climate, if you're getting out of the car, you have your AC on, swipe that lens like 4 or 5 times, because all it's going to do is keep fogging up, and you're going to lose all of that, that footage. Also, if you're going inside, and you look at your GoPro and you can see that it's flickering, like because we turn off the front. That's another thing, is I know some people don't, but it saves your battery. One, if you have a newer GoPro, this actually right here is a screen. It shows you what you're looking at. I would turn that off personally, because number one, it's really creepy for people to see themselves on this little screen. Like, we're not hiding that we're filming, but if we're like, I'm looking at you and you're looking at yourself, that's really odd. And it burns your battery up like super fast. Burn up the light. The night the light went out in Georgia. So yeah, that's how we do these. What was the next question? Do you have any other questions?
My question is, what 3 categories are you most expert at? I think it's tools, golf clubs, and fishing reels, and maybe coolers. Laugh out loud. That's Brian Wade 3829.
I would say I'm not really an expert about any type of thing, right? Like I'm not super good. My knowledge in tools is growing, like, and you kind of grow the categories that you always pick up because you learn new things. But I would say the things that sell the best for me is tools, golf clubs, and fishing gear. But that's also what I like to pick up, and I do have some knowledge on it. But we're trying to learn a lot about jewelry because we have probably made more money in jewelry in the last 2 months than we did in golf clubs. So every time like we figure out a new one, like vintage Christmas items, ridiculous. Those things are crazy expensive. You start getting into like, we were researching vintage Christmas ornaments, like just glass. We just learned ones called Shiny Brights.
Oh yeah.
This is worth couple $100 if you can find the right one. So it's like every category has its expensive stuff, and we're just trying to be well versed in all of them. We do not believe, it all depends on how you want to run your business. We don't believe in the niche down, do only one thing. We do see the benefit in it. We just wouldn't do that. Number one, we like to make videos and everything like this, going out and hunting for stuff. So
do you do inventory and notice eBay drops listings all the time, like delist random items? Last year I had about 300 items fall off. That's from Brandon Farmer 7519.
100%. We will probably do our inventory in January. We don't actually have a running inventory, like of what's in here. I know people are like, "Yeah, that's crazy," but actually, tax-wise, there's like a thing. I don't know. Our tax lady told us, but we don't have a running inventory in here. We know what's on eBay, so we will probably go through the bins. We're actually super low on inventory at this point. We only have 1,900 items. At one point, we were up to what, like almost 2,500 to 2,900. And since we've been selling a lot on Whatnot, I appreciate everybody coming out to those shows. And so we do that, and we do that, and we do notice a lot of do's going on here, that eBay does kick off some stuff. Like we'll be looking in something, and especially things that should have sold. Like that should have sold by now. We'll look it up. It hasn't. It's gone. Not there. So yes, we do notice that too.
Your Instagram link doesn't work. How do I get a hold of you to sell stuff for a deal for both of us?
I'll have to check on my Instagram link. But we don't do any consignment. That's one thing that, you know, some people will do consignment. We've had people ask us to do consignment where, you know, hey, we'll give you this, and it's just too much for us. Also, we talked to our tax lady. We would have to like 1099 you through the business, and then we would be taking on a lot of responsibility in case, you know, returns and stuff like that. Now, people do consignment, they make a ton of money consigning. We just decided not to go that route. The only time we would even, like when we do private picks, it's not on consignment. It is that we go buy everything and then we list ourselves, because then we can, because if it's a private pick, and you're not going to want that tax form, but we're going to have to give it to you, because say if we consign $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 from you, we're taking that as income,
right?
Which we have to then tell the IRS we made it, but then we're in you know, giving the person that has the consignee, whoever, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 for it. And if we can't give you a form that says, hey, we paid you, we got to pay taxes on all that stuff. Everything we do revolves around paying the man.
Yes.
Like legitly, like
you got to pay the man.
You got to pay the man, and we try to do it by the book because we don't want no problems. You know, we will get audited in this type of, you know, thing, because a lot of it's cash, so they're going to want to know stuff. So that's why we try to do it. That's why we have a tax person, and we just try to do everything right. But that's also why we don't consign stuff, because a lot of people, when I tell them, well, I'm going to have to give you a form that states, you know, you made this much money, and then you're going to have to put on your taxes and income, that's usually a no, I don't want to do that type of deal. So that's why we just buy a lot of things. But I think that's the last question. We're going to wrap this up. Send it out.